Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, Palm Springs Tower, Squawk 6250.
6250.
Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, Palm Springs altimeter is 2985, radar contact about 10 miles west of the Palm Springs VOR. Presently landing runway 31, you're requesting straight in for 13.
If that's available, yes please.
Correction, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, make straight in runway 13 left, and clear to land. Wind is 0905.
Clear to land, runway 3 left, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, thanks.
Palm Springs clearance plus 4658 is type PC finals land call request clearance to Vegas S file.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs clearance. Good afternoon. Unable to give you S file, and will be forward standby. Plus 4658 is cleared to the Las Vegas Airport. VFI Cathedral 1 departure procedure to Palm Springs. Victor 370 to 29 Palms. Victor 538. Cresso. Join the Cresso 311. Maintain 7,000. Expect flight level 2405 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 126.7. Squawk 6316.
Plus 4658 is cleared to Vegas via Cathedral 1, Palm Springs, Victor 37029, Palms, Victor 538, Cresso 3. Initially climb 7,000, expected for 0 after 5, departure last 6 hours, plus 63 last 6 plus 4658.
Plus 4658, 3 back is correct. Tango India Mike, taxi to ground via Aqua English frequency.
Taxiing to the ramp, remaining on this frequency, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike.
Ontario Tower, Cessna T9E Charlie Alpha, approximately 4 miles to the west, inbound to land.
Number 237, Charlie Alpha, roger, inner left, traffic. Left downwind, runway 26 left, report base.
Enter left downwind 26 left, and record your base 237 Charlie Alpha.
Charlie Tower United 242 on the visual for 20 right, will be turning for a right base start.
United 242, John Wayne Tower, runway 20 right, clear to land, wind 170 at 13.
Clear to land, 20 right, United 242.
Papa Hotel Tango 228 Kilo ILS runway 24.
Senior 520 Yankee Kilo, Palomar Tower, runway 24, clear to land, wind 210 at 11. Number 237, Charlie Alpha, runway 26 left, clear to land.
26 left, clear to land 7 Charlie Alpha.
Palm Springs ground plus 4658 is traffic to weather going for taxi.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs ground, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Trail right via Echo Bravo 465.
Riverside Tower, good morning. November 293 Alpha, with you on the ILS.
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside Tower, good afternoon. Runway 9 clear low approach, report missed.
November 293 Alpha, we have low approach, runway 9. Next report is missing.
Palm Springs Tower plus 4658 ready to go to right at Bravo.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs Tower, runway 31 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff to right plus 465.
Papa Hotel Tango 228 Kilo Yankee 24.
Here's our Yankee Kilo, Archer taxi into the ramp via Alpha.
Via Alpha.
Plus 4658, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure 465.
Cessna 7 Charlie Alpha.
Hey guys, welcome, episode 72.
Man.
Man.
Man on this frequency taxi into the south ramp via Sierra.
How cool was that previous stream with my girlfriend? Man, I still enjoyed that one. I've been rewatching that video several times. I'm so proud. But today, I'm finally gonna fly myself.
For 03 Alpha, roger,
Let me see, I've got my
approach procedure.
iPad here. I'd like to go to Van Nuys. We are currently at Bakersfield.
03 Alpha, contact
And
SoCal
as part of my training plan here,
Number 03 Alpha,
it's going to be a night flight as well. So a night flight from one Delta airport to the next with flight following at night. So that's kind of exciting and challenging. So let me see, I haven't flown for some time. I've been instructing my girlfriend though, but let's see how far I can get. So here we are on Bakersfield. Let me have a look. Zip. So there we are. Currently we are down here. There's the tower. Yeah, so that really long runway here, Bakersfield, and I'd like to go all the way down to Van nice. And that's going to be the following kind of flight plan. Let me see. This is going to be a 80 nautical mile flight. 43 minutes. We've got a tailwind, that's good, and it's going to be pretty much down south, a little bit to the east. So we're going to fly a odd numbered cruising altitude. So I thought 7,500 might be a good altitude because we've got some terrain in between, and especially because we're flying at night, we need to be very, very wary of, well, for example, this mountaintop here. So 7,500 is does not clear us from that terrain. And I think I was thinking to stay to the east side of the Gorman VOR here that I assigned myself to, but perhaps it's better just to go to 9,500. It's going to be a long leg here, or a couple of legs. Just to be on the safe side, it's better, I guess, just to stay clear of that terrain. So let's change that right away. So not 7,500, but 9,500. Alrighty. So let me just review this this flight in more detail. So Bakersfield, here we are, Delta Airport. In a few minutes, PilotEdge is going to go online. Hey, no pizza, no glory. Welcome to see you again. Welcome on board. So what we're going to do is a basic southbound departure, and already with flight following. So we're going to go to Gorman while climbing. Well, most likely we're already at 9,500 before we reach Gorman. Then we go outbound from Gorman, and then we're going to go to a GPS reference point here instead of going straight to Van Nuys, and that's because we've got some terrain here while we are nearing Van Nuys, and that's not really a big issue, but we also got a class Charlie airspace here, a shell that I don't want to hit, and that's starting at 3,000. So if I want to overfly that mountain peak, I don't want to bash into that Charlie airspace. Now, because I'm at night, I cannot see that mountain that clearly. So I thought it might be better, more safe, that we go from the north side here. So I fly a particular radial here from Gorman. So that's going to be a 134 heading, southbound or southeastbound. And once I hit a particular radial here from Van Nuys, that's going to be the 160 radial inbound. Then we're going to make that right turn to Van Nuys to stay clear of this terrain, and also allows me therefore to descend already. So to arrive at Van Nuys and go underneath the Charlie airspace. That's the idea. So that's going to be the general flight. Well, in terms of airspace, Delta to a Delta, the class Charlie airspace that I already mentioned here that I need to look out for, but we've also got some other airspace in between. For example, this corridor, this MTR corridor, so we can expect some military flights over there. Probably already high up, so we can easily overfly that route. But we need to stay vigilant. Again, that's why we're also on flight following, because therefore, while on flight following, we also have some controllers will also look out for us and alert us for any traffic. So that's a good thing as well. Also here, while we're climbing out or leaving the Bakersfield area, there are also, again, some additional MTRs, but I don't think that that's a concern for the same reasons. Okay, in terms of diversions, in case we've got an engine error, engine out, we got some non-towered airports while we are leaving Bakersfield, so that's good. Also, while we are flying en route, we've got Quail Lake here, again a non-towered airport, and because we're flying at night, it's very important that we know that those airports actually have airport lighting, because otherwise airport lights, because otherwise we don't see them. So for example, Quail Lake, even though it's a private airport, in case of an emergency, we're free to land there, obviously. We need to make sure that it has some lights, and I don't think it does have lights. Like none, as you can see at the bottom there. So that's not really a good alternate for us to glide through. Now, that's also a reason why it's important to fly high up at cruise, because it also offers you some gliding distance, right? Some time to glide to another airport. So what would that airport be? Well, it's going to be tough nonetheless. Yeah, perhaps a return glide. Look here at Paradise Lakes. I think when there's a star on top of that depiction, airport depiction, that means that it does have fuel and also have lights, I believe. I don't know for sure. Paradise Lake, for example, here also doesn't have lights, I think. See? None. Right, so these are not really good alternates for us to use in this particular night flight. So, yeah, there are not really other airports that we can go to. Obviously, we got Acqua Dolce here. I do believe that Acqua Dolce has airport lights, but that's a long distance when we are around Gorman and we've got an engine out. It's going to be tough to reach. Right, traffic, blah 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 blah. Also, no lighting. Okay. So just based on the fact that we are flying at night, hey Keller, good to see you. It might be better to take another route, but as you can see, looking at other airports here, that would take us all the way around the Bakersfield area, and we don't have time to do that. So I guess we're just gonna use the benefit of a simulated flight here and just see and hope we don't get an engine out. We just hope that Keith doesn't jump on board and messes us up. So we'll just have to see. But that's a concern. And in the real world, I would say to pick another flight, another route that will allow us to divert to an airport in case we've got an emergency on our hands. All right. Any other stuff that we need to concern ourselves with? Runway length is not an issue. Fuel, let me see, that's 11 gallons. We need to check that soon once we jump into the cockpit. And also like to have an idea of what the weather is doing, obviously. So currently at Bakersfield, we've got VMC, I believe. METAR, yeah. So again, really basic and really good flying weather, clear skies, 5 knots winds. So that's good forecast. Is VMC as well, looking at the TAFs. And also en route here at Quail Lake, but it's not really at Quail Lake. It's a METAR that is SDB. I don't know what the airport is, but it's a nearby airport, I think, that is used to get a METAR reading. But again, VMC, as you can see, and also at Venice, METARs seems to be green as well, and the TAFs also. But let's have a more general look of what the weather is doing, also to know how the weather is developing, other than just looking at very, very local weather. Today's forecast, a cold front, as you can see, to the north. So that's coming up towards Bakersfield, and that usually indicates bad weather. A cold front is the most nasty front that you can get. So that's a first kind of alert. Let me see. This is currently, this is already a dated chart. We are currently at 1500 Zulu. So let's go a little bit further along in time. Yeah, for example, this one. As you can see, IMC around the ocean and precipitation, breeze and clouds to the north of us. And I guess that's the cold front kind of bit. But that means that it's not a concern to us because it's really far up north. And as the time progresses, you can see that actually that IMC stuff and that clouds and the precipitation actually gets less worse. So that's good to see as well. Okay. Significant weather chart, to the left 06 Zulu, to the right 18 Zulu. So 18 Zulu would be more significant in terms of our flight. As you can see, IMC around the ocean. All right, that's a good indication. 1200 Zulu, there was some marginal VMC there around our area, but we're currently already a few hours ahead. And you can see here there is Still some marginal VMC around the coast and also in our area. Okay, so we need to be a little bit more careful to look at the following charts to see what's actually going on. So cloud thickness, well, not really thick clouds usually indicate thunderstorms or that kind of stuff. But we do see some clouds, so cloud seeding might be an issue. This is seeding. First, 0900, 1200, 1500. This is a better one. So as you can see, sealing is an issue for today's flight. We can expect ceilings around 3,000 or 6,500. Now, still, that means that at an airport, looking at the METARs, you can still have VMC, but as a VFR pilot, we're not allowed to fly through clouds because we need to ensure for that visibility, especially at night. So in terms of our climb out to 9,500 feet, that might prove to be difficult because at 9,500 we might be in a cloud ceiling. Now I don't know if that's an overcast or just few clouds, but the ceiling is over there at that altitude. Okay, 1800, it's still there. It's a little bit moving away towards the ocean, so we can expect that the clouds are shifting towards the ocean, shifting away from our course. So that's good to know. Evanek, hey, good to see you. Killer, what plane are you flying? I'm flying always a Cessna Skyhawk 172 here. The student airplane, which I really like. All right, precipitation, not an issue. Again, you can see that cold front coming in. That's good to see. Let's move on. Visibility wise, also in a particular really significant component of your weather planning, mostly around the LA area, so not a concern, but let's move on to our current time, 1500 Zulu. You can see visibility is only an issue in the downtown area or even at around San Diego. So yeah, we mostly have to do with cloud ceiling. You can see from 1500 Zulu to 1800 Zulu that the visibility is actually worsening also around the Van Nuys area. So that's around 6 miles or so. So again, at night, these are not really opportune conditions for us to make this flight if it would be in the real world. But we mostly have to deal with cloud ceiling. So that's important to watch out for. Winds at 6,000 feet. Let me go to, yeah, so this is 1600 Zulu. Well, winds are blowing from the ocean land inwards, at least at 6,000. And obviously wind direction and strength changes from altitude, but I just picked 6,000 here as a general kind of cruising altitude that I usually fly at with my Cessna. Okay, freezing levels are really high up. Yeah, then that makes sense. So no freezing levels in our case, and also combined with clouds, there's not a really high probability that we run into engine icing or that kind of stuff. And you can see also here the probability chart also doesn't indicate any icing in our area. Good, and those are all the weather charts. So we got ceilings. Yeah, so that's an important one, especially if I like to fly at 9,500, and I think that's a safe altitude to fly. Concerning the terrain, but concerning the weather, that might pose a problem. So what I think is also is quite confusing to me, or confusing. I don't know what that ceiling means in that weather chart. I mean, it means that there's probably clouds around 6,000 feet or so. But does that mean that it's also scattered or few? Because that makes a lot of a difference to our VFR flight. So let's just climb out and we're just going to have to see what the weather is doing. I guess that's because I just like to fly, and hey, that's the advantage of using a simulation. No Pizza and Glory, is the 172 and X-Plane better than the A2A one in P3D? Avanak, nah, A2A is much more detailed. Airfly is similar, absolutely. I totally agree with Avanak there. Now A2A is still in the lead, and man, if that day would come when A2A would jump over also build their airplanes for X-Plane, that will be really cool. Okay, guys, so that's our briefing. Let's jump in the cockpit. There we are. It's quite dark, as you can see. Any other news that I'd like to share before we're going to start, there's a general... Oh yeah, so I've got one additional thing now. I don't know if you guys see. It's a bucket over there to the right corner, rather right bottom corner of the stream. And that's a bucket where all the bits, all the cheers come in. So I'm currently a Twitch affiliate, and that means that the option of cheering is now enabled on my channel, and that means that you can donate through Twitch as well. And those donations will be animated here on the stream. As bits, kind of like coins or diamonds, or I don't know what the things are, but they are called bits, and they will tumble into that bucket or jar, and you can cheer me on with flying. So it's actually kind of like a donation, but then through Twitch in this new kind of way, which is fun. So that's the one that I added, and that's what it's for. Also, if you really like the previous stream with me and my girlfriend, and I was training her how to fly, I still very much appreciate, we still very much appreciate your donations to get her to do her first flight lesson in the real world, and really sparked her interest with flying. Even the next day after the stream, I found her here in the cockpit doing her traffic pattern, so that's really, really nice. But I'd like to offer her a real world flight lesson as well, and we'd like to save up some money, and that's what the donation goal is for. So even after that stream, still feel free to support the channel here and what we're doing, and especially her interest in aviation, because I like to nurture that, obviously. All right, so here we are. PilotEdge is already on. So first basic test here. Park and brakes. Yeah, they are on. Let's pretend that's all there. Doors closed, windows closed, LT set to auto. This stuff is not animated, but fine. Flaps are up, and they are up. They are. My levers are in sync. My trim is ready. Fuel tank set to both. In. And we don't need to check this so far. Circuit breakers are in. My switch panel is working, and my beacon light can be turned on. We can also already turn on our nav lights because we're at night, so as soon as we turn on the batteries, those will already light up, which is a good thing. Okay, then batteries on, so there we go. We've got plenty of fuel to make our trip. We needed around 12 gallons, so that's okay. And let's move on. Avionics turned on, seem to be working as well. Flaps down. Usually we would now also check all the lights outside. What we're not going to do because we don't have an external walk around here. Flaps are working. So what we can do is just very simply turn on the landing lights. Those work. Taxi lights work. And strobe lights, those are working as well. Good. So that's a check. Then frequencies we're going to set very, very soon. Annunciator messages, those work. We're going to set this as well to be working just fine. Okay, cool. One last thing, my control surfaces. To the right, that one goes down. To the left, that one goes down. My elevator trim, or my elevators, I should say, stabilizers. My trim is working as well. My rudder is working as well. Perfect. Okie doke. So that means that we can start our engine. Perhaps a briefing first. So again, we're going to depart here from Bakersfield southbound with flight following around 9,500 feet. We're going to go to Gorman. We're going to set those frequencies soon. Then to Van Nuys, but northbound, so we stay clear of that class Charlie airspace of Burbank. Military air routes on their way, but we'll be vigilant and also on flight following, so I'm hoping to get some traffic alerts here. But it's going to be a night flight, and usually my night flights are always quite challenging, and I mess up something because it's quite hard if you don't have any visuals. Basic taxi, I think. Let me rehearse the taxi diagram here. Or our taxi, I should say. Let's see. Bakersfield. Right, so we are currently parked. I believe we are parked over here. So what I'm going to expect is a taxi on Alpha to 30 right. That's what I'm going to expect as a taxi clearance. Okay. And we also need frequency, so I can already keep that chart in, by the way. And ground, we don't have clearance. Good. So let's start our engines first. Avionics are off. Parking brakes are set. Again, throttle a bit in. Fuel tanks at the both. Good. No one is around. And we need to prime first, Tim. Very good. Let's prime the engine. 2, 3. Cut off. Alrighty then. Clear prop. Switch back to both. 1200. Oil pressure is already in the green. Let's lean for ground. Should see a small dip there in the RPM. Back to 1000. Generator on. Can see the rise. Avionics on. Good. Flaps are up. Mode C is 1200. Good. And we can set our frequencies just to be sure that I'm really connected to PilotEdge. Yes, I am. Okay. Oh yes, we should also just file a flight plan. Not that it's really that relevant as a VFR flight, but I'd like to do it anyway. So that's going to be Baker's Field to Van Nuys. Route, I don't care. Altitude 9,500 if the weather allows. That's good, good, good. And route is good. Fuel hours is fine as well. Okay. All right. So frequencies, yeah, that was the one. So let me see, what frequencies do we need? First, the nav frequencies. So what I'm going to do is fly to Gorman, and that's 116.1. 116.1. That's set now. Nav 1 is in the active, and what kind of a heading here? That's going to be 154. Good. So let's set it 154. Just turn the other way around, but hey. 154. Very well. And then from Gorman, we're gonna fly. Yeah, I'd like to fly an outbound of Gorman, so at the nav 2 I can set the Van Nuys so I can intersect and know where I am. So that's Gorman's going to be then an outbound. We're going to reset the OBS once we're there. But in the nav 2 I'd like to set Van Nuys, and that's going to be 113.1. 113.1. That's set as well. And what radial? That's going to be this radial. And that's 160. 160. Cool. So once we are above Gorman, above Gorman, I'm going to reset the OBS to fly this particular radial. I'm going to wait until when the nav 2 is centered. Okay, that's navigation wise. Then what we need to do is set the frequencies. So we're currently at Bakersfield, so we need ground and tower. Don't think that Bakersfield has a clearance frequency delivery. No. So ground is going to be 121.7. 121.7. It's now in negative. That sounds good. And Bakersfield tower is 118.1. Okay, that's set as well. And we need our ATIS, 118.6. That's nav 2. 118. No, I don't want that one. I want to use that one. 118.6. Alright, let's have a listen.
Meadows Field Information Mike.
Mike.
200 Zulu weather. Wind calm. Visibility more than 10. Sky clear.
Good.
Temperature 19. Dew point -19. Altimeter 2991. Arriving runway 30 right. Departing runway 30 right. Advise on initial contact.
You've got
you
Mike.
have Mike.
Alright, so we've got...
SR Cessna 19688. I'm done working the pattern here. I'm headed back to Whiteman.
We've got Mike. We've got good weather. Ground in the
968,
frequency.
Roger. Make a left downwind departure.
Marcus on the frequency. And yeah, I think
left down,
that
167.
sounds about right. Let me just further continue my checks, by the way, because I also like to set my heading bug here to 30. Gonna expect 30, right? Okay, and lights and stuff are all on. Yeah, so ready to go. So I'm gonna request for flight following at ground. Hey Miniwebs, good to see you. Vegas, Scotty, good to see you as well, guys. Welcome. Welcome on board. Yeah. So, yeah, ground. And what we're going to do is 9,500. Where are we? Yeah, I know where we are, but how to refer to that on the plate? Yeah, near the tower, I can say. Okay. No, let me just keep that here so you guys can see what I'm actually writing down. So that's going to be power tilting a mic. Cessna Skyhawk, Slant Alpha, near the tower with information mic, requesting flight following to Van Nuys at 9,500.
Gentlemen, clearance, good morning. Piaggio 770 Lima Kilo, IFR to San Bernardino.
Number 77 Lima Kilo, gentlemen, clearance. Good morning. Cleared to San Bernardino Airport. Fly heading 175. Expect radar vectors to the Seal Beach VOR. And then the Coastal November 13 tech route. Maintain 5,000. Expect 6,000 5 minutes after departure. Departure frequency is 128.1. Squawk 7346.
Engine is looking good.
Bernardino, fly 175 after departure. Vectors to Seal Beach, then the Coastal November 13 route. Altitude 5,000, expect 6,000 after 5. Departure frequency 128.1 and squawk 7346.
Number 7 Lima Kilo, read back correct. November 19688, contact Whiteman Tower 135.0.
Tower at 135.0, 688, so.
Bakersfield ground, good day. Skyhawk Papa Delta Tango Mike with a VFR request.
Papa Hotel Tango, any Mike, Bakersfield ground, good morning.
Papa Delta Tango Mike is a Cessna Skyhawk Slant Alpha. We're currently near the tower with information mic, requesting flight following to Van Nuys at 9,500.
Papa Hotel Tango, any Mike, not a problem. Bakersfield departure frequency 118.8, squawk 4175.
Bakersfield departure frequency is 118.8 and squawk 4175. Papa Delta Tango Mike.
Papa Hotel Tango, Indy Mike, readback is correct. Are you ready to taxi now?
Just give us a sec, Papa Tango Mike. Sure. Alright. So, first, squawk. No, we're not in a hurry. That's always the basic mindset. So, squawk is going to be 4175. Okay, mode C, that's good. Frequencies we got, that's departure. And what I also like to know, because I sometimes forget, is that this is then Bakersfield departure. Sometimes it's so-called departure, sometimes it's something else. Los Angeles, so I'd like to just know what to say. So that's Bakersfield departure.
Whiteman Tower Cessna 19688 out of
yeah,
Van
ready to
Nuys.
taxi.
Inbound for landing, just
Taxi
crossing the
lights on.
freeway. I have
Cessna 19688, Whiteman Tower, good morning, enter right base runway 12, cleared to land, wind calm.
right base 12, clear to land, 6-8.
Bakersfield ground, Skyhawk Papa Delta Tango and Mike to the tower, ready for taxi.
Papa Hotel Tango, Indy Mike, Bakersfield ground, runway 30 right, taxi via Alpha and Bravo.
Runway 30 right via Alpha and Bravo, Papa Delta. Okay, double check. Plates Alpha and Bravo. Yeah, so Bravo is here at the far end. Okay, good. Let's have some fun with taxiing, guys. Are we ready? We are ready. Parking brakes released. Brake tests, those work. It's around, good. I can see already very faintly a taxi line here in front. And that's so hard with taxiing at night, is that you only have one directional light here. So it's very hard to spot any taxiway to the side of you. Look how pretty this is. Wow. So for example, for now it's quite hard to notice where you need to taxi to get to Alpha, but it's just very slowly taxi. You can already see there indication here, Alpha 10, and Alpha is coming up. Good. No traffic to the right, no traffic to the left. Righty then, there's Alpha. And there we go. As you can see, runway contours are now switched on because the new PilotEdge controller or PilotEdge receiver now has a clamping feature. So the artificial, the AI traffic, and also the human pilots here are clamped onto the scenery, independent of your flight sim platform. Which is really, really great. I really like these runway contours, so that's now switched on. Which makes it much more realistic also in terms of touchdown. Therefore you have another thing to worry about or think about before you do your touchdown, because that terrain curve, that runway curve actually makes a lot of a difference. It looks so pretty at night if you see those runways. It's really pretty. Yeah, Vega, it's really nice, isn't it? And that's really explained. Although the version 4 of Prepared might also very quickly provide the same kind of light effects, but up to now, also what I've seen so far, Explain is still far superior with these light effects. It's so pretty to fly at night. Oh, what I didn't do is check my turn indicator, my heading indicator. Yeah, that seems to be working just fine. Okay. So again, while we're taxiing, we can already rehearse. So I can see already the beginning of runway 30 right at that side. We're looking for Bravo. We're going to depart. I'd like to then ask for a southbound departure, which might be obvious. We're gonna catch this needle to Gorman, 9,500, continuous climb. If we don't get instructed
Cessna 688, Roger. Stay on my frequency taxi
to
ramp
stay below
Alpha.
a particular altitude.
Frequency 688.
Have a great weekend.
You too, good.
Yeah, that's about it for the departure.
On the ground, good morning, Pedro 77 Lima Kilo with the weather ready to taxi.
Alright,
477 Lima Kilo, downwind ground, runway 20
Bravo
right
here.
at Kilo, taxi via Alpha Kilo, hold short of runway 20
Yep, that's
left.
Bravo. Good.
20 right at Kilo, taxi via Alpha Kilo, hold short of runway 20 left, 7 Lima Kilo.
Right, there's the threshold line. Good. Brakes. Engine is already warm. You're full in. Run up. 1800. Everything is stable. Oil pressure. Good. No enunciated messages. Left mag. Good enough drop. Back to both. Right mag. Looks good. Back to both. Landing lights. Just to see whether the M meter is charging. Well, that seems to be fine. It's not really that simulated here in the stock, so unfortunately, and that's not really a proper check for now, but hey. Idle seems to be fine as well. Still, we've got oil pressure, no enunciated messages. Perfect. Back to 1000. Okay. Before we're going to contact tower, switch to tower, but also then reset the standby frequency to our departure frequency, and that was 118.8. So we can switch once we are in the air, because we are busy doing our climb out. I don't like to fiddle around with my radio equipment. So that's 118, and that's Bakersfield departure. Good. Landing lights on. Like to also in the real world, by the way, you should actually turn your taxi lights and landing lights off, because it actually blinds other aircraft also while they are landing. So that's kind of like a way. Well, take into account that. Flight control test. Good. Because this is really important stuff. Seems to be working. Good. Again, rudder is working as well. Cool. And that means that we're ready to go. Okay. Bakersfield Tower, Skyhawk Papa Hotel Tango, and Mike is holding short 3-1 right at Bravo, ready for departure southbound.
Papa Hotel, Tango, Indy Mike, Bakersfield Tower, good morning. Runway 30 right, cleared for takeoff, make left downwind departure.
Clear for takeoff 30 right and left downwind departure, Papa Hotel Tango Mike, thanks. Okay, left downwind departure. So to the left, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, let's go. Land guides on. Strobe lights on. Pictures full in. Fuel tanks good. And elevator trim is also properly set. Going on the runway. Look at this, guys. Look at these lights. And the curve. Subtle curve in this runway. We are aligned. There we go. A little bit of right rudder. Full power. Airspeed's alive. Engine is in the green still. 50, 60, and rotate. There we go. A little bit of nose down trim. So I'm really pushing here. There we go. Bye-bye Bakersfield. Nice climb outs. We're now at 500 feet AGL. Go a little bit further up. 700, so. Alright, let's make that turn. So see some traffic there in front of me.
Papa Hotel, Tango, Indy Mike, contact Bakersfield departure.
Over to departure, Papa Hotel Tango Mike. Alright, first gonna make this turn before I'm gonna contact departure. So now we're at 1,000 feet, but I'm just gonna continue my climb. Alright, a little bit further along, and then I'm gonna make that turn to downwind. Again, other traffic there. Switched already the frequencies. Alrighty, that's our downwind. Keep that climb going, and we're at 2,000. Bakersfield departure, Skyhawk Papa Hotel Tango Mike is climbing through 2,000 to 9,500.
Papa Hotel, Tango, Indy Mike, Bakersfield departure, good morning, radar contact. Bakersfield altimeter is 299.3. Resume on navigation, maintain VFR.
903, we'll zoom home nav, Papa Hotel Tango.
Piaggio 77 Lima Kilo, John Wayne Tower. Good morning. Cross runway 20 left.
He's in a good mood. I can hear it by his voice.
Kilo cleared for takeoff. Wind
130
at 6.
On the radios. All right, so 903. So let's set 903. We departed with 901. That's 903. Good. So we're in sync with his altitude, kind of. Controlling. I mean, all the airplanes in his sector also have the 903, 29 or 903 altimeter setting, and that means that we are all on the same page. So that's important. And once he said remain VFR and do your own thing, resume on navigation, that doesn't mean that we now need to switch our transponder to 1200. It just means that we can continue our flight. I mean, that squawk code now is connected with our intentions to go to Van Nuys, and allows Marcus to know where we are and what we're up to. So look at these lights, guys. It's gorgeous. Let's trim my climb a bit here. Still we're on the downwind, but that's good because you can see the needle is our track is a little bit to the left of us. So we're very slowly gonna gonna catch that needle. Alright, let me see. Minimaps. I've been getting into IFR recently and have started practicing for the I ratings using your VFR training structure, as I will first be doing uncontrolled to uncontrolled then flights and so on. Awesome, Miniwebs. Do you think this is the way to go for training for IFR, or will you be doing a different type of training format? I don't know really. I think I'm going to do the same, because why not? So I'm going to use the same kind of structure that I posted on my UncertifiedPilot.com website for the VFR CAT ratings. And I think the same applies to the I ratings as well, but still need to look out for that. I've just heard a little bit of a change in my engine power there. But it seems to be powering up just fine by now. Needle is creeping in, that's good. Again, I don't see any clouds. Ceilings, I mean. This nice starry night. That's one thing that we need to look out for, right? As part of our planning. Look at this. It is so pretty. Anyway, we're on the needle. So let's turn towards Gorman. And while we do, look out for other traffic. Also can turn off our landing lights now. .54. There we go. Awesome. Hi Smoke and welcome on board. Yeah, it is beautiful scenery though. Yeah, at night you cannot see the photo reel unfortunately, because that's pretty as well, especially in the Bakersfield area. But yeah, this is what you're now seeing is actually the OpenStreetMap kind of format that X-Plane uses to generate the autogem, which is really, really realistic. Not only scenery object-wise, because the object library that X-Plane uses is actually quite sophisticated, but also the positioning of the highways and the streets is actually very, very precise. So precise that it very neatly overlays the photo reel, so the satellite imagery. Which is quite necessary, obviously, once you like to fly with photo reel, because you like to see that autogen really nicely tucked into the photo reel to make it look realistic. Hey, Dad. Must say that the P3 version 4 scenery is impressive as well. Awesome. Yeah, but it's actually still the same scenery, right? The only thing that version 4 does is only providing a better graphics engine, but it's still the same kind of textures, the same data. So until Orbix and the other guys are really utilizing that power, it still looks the same. Miniwebs, yeah, it's a good format doing day and nights in different situations. I agree. Yesterday on PS it was quite nice to have to use GPS and programmers. Awesome, Miniwebs. Yeah, I'm also really looking forward to doing my my I ratings as well. But first things first, just the CAT rating. So we're now flying towards the LA area because I eventually need to go to San Bernardino to do my CAT 7 rating. But before I do, I'd like to complete all the training flights as well that I scheduled myself, that I assigned myself to. And then we're gonna do the CAT 6 as well. Hey Quinidin, welcome on the stream. Killer, what's the estimated flight time? Well, it was around 50 minutes or so, so I would say 45 minutes left, something like that. And that reminds me that I should set the clock, which I didn't, so yay. Still the same old uncertified pilot. I'm gonna set the clock once we are over Garmin. And that's going to be 29 nautical miles. You can see in the bottom. Well, you guys cannot quite see because the donation text is overlaid, but here, 29 nautical miles left. Nicely on the needle. Engine is doing great. Still have a climb going. We can already start to lean the mixture a bit because we're high enough. The air is thin enough for us to already lean a bit. Otherwise, we run the danger of overheating the engine. Speed is okay. So far, so good. Some traffic in front of us. At least the beacon light I see moving. No pizza, no glory. Orbex has only updated regions to version 4 so far, so no vector airports, right? But it's great to see Prepared being upgraded to 64-bit. And also, guys, this weekend, tomorrow, I don't think, or perhaps even already today, it's Flight SimCon weekend. So I'm really looking forward to some new releases or talks by the X-Plane community.
Context SoCal departure.
Or the also on the Prepared side of things. So there are going to be a lot of streams and videos posted this weekend. So have an eye out on YouTube. Still climbing.
77 Lima Kilo, SoCal departure, radar contact, climb and maintain 6,000.
Meanwhile, I'm still hoping that Orbix will come to X-Plane someday. Yeah, but just, well, to be honest though, to me it's not about the mesh textures. Hey Smokin', thank you for following. But it's because the photoreal is so real. I mean, you cannot get more real than photoreal. So that's why I really like X-Plane, and that doesn't give me any need, or that's why I don't look forward to Orbix going to X-Plane. The only thing you could say, well, the airports, that would truly be awesome. Still though, there are a couple of, as you know, airport developers that are really doing a great job, and I think that those airports come really close to Orbix level of
Kilo, turn right heading 320.
scenery development. Alright, so 7,500 is coming up. Still climbing a bit further on. Kind of on the needle, that's good. Engine is looking good. We can lean perhaps a bit more. Yeah. Also save some fuel. Engine is good in temperature wise. Perfect. And 22 nautical miles to go.
Traffic 2 o'clock, 2.5 miles southbound VFR aircraft indicating 5,500.
Climb going. Alright.
7 Lima Kilo, yeah, traffic shouldn't be a factor. Whenever you're quick direct to Seal Beach,
getting comfortable.
Navigation.
And that means I need to do some work. So, again. So, the airplane tends to go to the right here. I guess because of winds, but... yeah, so our flights, that's Gorman, 9,500, we're already now passing 8,000, so that means that the terrain issue there of that mountain is not that much an issue anymore, most likely. Still, we need to be aware, but hey, it's good. ATIS, we can already set the ATIS of Van Nuys, that is 127.55. 7.55. Alright. Let's see if we can already pick it up. No. Okay. Still, we're nicely climbing. Indicated airspeed is slowly moving away from us, showing a decreased airspeed relatively, which makes sense because the air is getting more thin. But our ground speed should be increasing, I guess. Nicely on track. See a big highway here to the right of us. Let's see if that makes sense. And that does make sense. That's this highway, I guess. Or even that one. Yeah, it's that one. Because there's also a highway over here, as you can see. There's one over there, and they join here and then go all the way down to Van Nuys. That's good. We are on the right track. So quite a shallow climb here, but a little bit of a nose up trim. A tiny bit. Keep going. What we can also already do is rehearse our arrival. No, we're not going to do that just yet because I know we're just 1,000 feet until our cruising altitude, and I should just first focus on that before I'm going to do anything else. A bit more of a climb here. Hey Nietzsche, good to see you. I just showed up. Your clock is mysteriously not counting up or down. No, I already mentioned it. I was waiting for Gorman VOR where I'm going to fly over in 50 nautical miles and then set it. I keep forgetting the damn thing. And I should really try to drill it much more also off stream because this is not working at all. Especially in the night flight, it's so important, I know, guys. Nietzsche staples a sticky note to Tim's hand where you're sure to see it while flying. Yeah, and I also think, guys, that that's also the added value of a instructor that puts some emotion behind it. Once you forget for the 10th time to set the clock, he just becomes angry. And you remember anger. And yeah. Right, also what I thought about, what I could do in the future, still a lot of episodes ahead, is to, once I start with my I ratings, to also save up some money to do a remote coaching flight, because PilotEdge offers such a service where you get a remote coach, a proper CFI, that can teach you for a certain amount of time anything you like in terms of your IFR training. And that might be cool. I have no idea what the quality is, how do you need to do some homework, or I have no idea, but it might be fun to stream that as well. We could do it in one of the future streams. Alright, 9,500. See some military aircraft there in front of me that you guys can see. Some red lights over there. Alright, pointing the nose down. Airspeed's going to increase. Also some military traffic, I think, on top. As you can see, this is that MTR that we were trying to cross over. Don't see any other aircraft. Alright, airspeed is okay. Let's reduce the throttle to around 2400 or so. Sounds a bit better. Descending a bit. A little bit nose down trim now. Ah, reading of Venice VOR. Just saw the needle jump. A little bit more power. I like to stay around 100 knots indicated here. I don't like to descend. Let's see if we can optimize our AGT. No. Can't. A little bit more nose up. A bit more power, because apparently our little Cessna has a little bit trouble here to staying on altitude. Again,
Number 77 Lima Kilo, contact SoCal approach 135.4.
looking for that traffic. Bit more nose up trim. Alright, so far so good. So, yeah, Gorman is coming up. Then we're going to fly the
Papa
outbound.
Hotel Tango, India Mike, contact Los Angeles Center 125.27.
Over to Los Angeles Center 125.27 for Hotel Tango Mike. Come on, 125.27.
Number 77 Lima Kilo, SoCal approach, good morning. Ontario altimeter is 299.5.
Switch. Los Angeles Center, Skyhawk Papa Hotel Tango Mike is level 9,500.
Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike, Los Angeles Center, good morning. Palmdale altimeter is 299.5.
905, Papa Hotel Tango Mike. He's such a cool guy. Whoa, why are we descending? Suddenly. Doesn't seem like a malfunction to me. Perhaps a changing weather. Anyway, what I'd like to do, if my Skyhawk allows me to, is to prepare for the arrival. And what I'd like to know is when to descend already, because we've got two problems and they interact. We've got a class Charlie airspace of Burbank that we need to underfly by under to get to Van Nuys, but at the same time we've got some terrain that prevents us to do so.
Number 77 Lima Kilo, advise when you have the weather for San Bernardino.
Also like the lights here in the distance reflecting on the clouds. Or it might be just the sun glare, but it's a pretty nice picture.
Number 7 Lima Kilo, yeah, that's a given if you're IFR to San Bernardino. Usually you'll come with an approach request. Descend and maintain 4,000 and expect the ILS runway 6 approach.
So, what I'm going to do is from Gorman fly this outbound radio. There's going to be
Number 7 Lima Kilo, would you like the approach from Paradise or like the
135.
final?
And gonna fly all the way until I catch the needle to Van Nuys 158 or something like that. And what I'm gonna do then is descend, obviously, and this is the mountain peak that might obstruct us to do so, and this is the Charlie class shelf of Burbank, which we cannot cross, although we are on flight following, by the way. I just thought about that, and we're already talking to radar controllers. So we're actually free to fly through that
November
shelf.
77 Lima Kilo, turn left heading 320 vectors for the descent.
At least when we are in contact with such a controller. But once he hands us over to tower, yeah, we need to stay clear of that Charlie airspace. Alright, the needle is already creeping away from us. What was it, 135? 135 it was. Okay. Some traffic here above. So outbound 135. Again, no clouds yet, guys. But that's good. There's the traffic. No other traffic as far as I can see. To the left there, and also some military stuff going there.
Number 77 Lima Kilos, 900 miles from Pettis, turn right heading
Still got a
030
needle there.
and descend and maintain 4,000 until established on the localizer.
And
clear
that's
to
the
ILS,
flip.
runway 6 approach.
Okay, clock is on. So given our speed, it's around 100 knots. We should catch the needle, the Van Nuys needle, in around 18 minutes or so. Okay. Again, guys, this scenery, this photoreal scenery around Bakersfield here, and especially this area, is so beautiful. It's a bummer we cannot see. But hey, night flight training is important. And I expect to see some very, very nice light effects once we reach Van Nuys. Also with the runway contours checkbox on. It's going to be pretty. Also one concern, or a TIM-related concern, is that once we reach Van Nuys, there are multiple airports. And as you know, I'm really excellent at misidentifying my destination airport. So I might mistake Van Nuys for Whiteman or even Burbank, perhaps even John Wayne, if I try my best. So yeah, I need to be very, very aware of the airport that I'm seeing, and one way to do that is, you can see a huge joint here of highways. And there are two highways here down south, and I should expect to see Van Nuys to the right side. So that's a visual reference point, provided that we've got enough visibility. I'm already trying to catch that needle outbound. Nice on altitude, stable weather, and no ceiling in sight. But perhaps xEnviro is just going to turn on us, and change up the weather in an instant. Engine is still doing great, enough fuel, temperature, good pressure.
Number 77 Lima Kilo, contact San Bernardino Tower 119.45. Good morning.
ATIS not in reach yet. Hit that turn now on 135 because we were on the needle. And already 4 minutes elapsed.
Number 77 Lima Kilo, San Bernardino Tower. Good morning. Wind calm, runway 6 cleared to land.
again, military air traffic front or behind us, not a factor, but just good to know. So guys, what are you most looking forward to at Flight SimCon? Even though you are not there, there might be all kinds of new product announcements. Is there anything you're looking forward to hear, or to see perhaps? In terms of X-Plane, I'm not really that curious. I mean, I'm looking forward to the next... Oh, what's my airplane doing here? My airspeed increases. It's a change in weather. But not an engine problem. Okay. But in terms of X-Plane, I'm not really looking forward to any big new releases. Perhaps X-Plane is going to tell a little bit more about X-Plane and what their roadmap might be. I know I'm really looking forward to the next xEnviro version, but that's not really a big new product announcement. I can only think of pre-3D related, FSX related releases, and the A2A products, racks. Oh, videos from flight sim streamers. Yeah, me too. Yeah, that might be fun. And also just to get a sense of the community spirit over there. Oh, we clearly got some tailwind here. Or no, it's some headwind, I think. Because of our increased indicated airspeed. So a little bit more turbulent. And well, clouds in the distance. Other than that, we've got good flying weather.
Number 7 Lima Kilo, taxi into the ramp via Alpha and monitor ground 121.8.
6 minutes on the clock. Highway to the left of me. And DME wise from Gorman, 30 nautical miles or so. Yeah, so we're halfway, and also is confirmed by our clock. Okay, good. Bambino, your vids on CAT certification have been very helpful. Hi, compliments from a fellow YouTuber. Awesome, Bambino. Thank you for your compliments. Good to hear you're training as well. Nietzsche, over the past week, I've decided that I will make it to next year's Flight Sim constantly. I'll miss this one by a couple of months. Yeah, I'd like to attend one. Like to attend one as well someday. And I had planned to go to the Flight SimCon of last year, but unfortunately due to some personal circumstances I was unable to do so, to make the trip. Whoa. Gusty winds here. Let's see, looking at my airspeed indication.
Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, contact SoCal approach 134.2.
Over to SoCal approach 134.2 for Papa Hotel Mike. 134. Stay on my altitude here. 134.2. Switch. Come on. Up, 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 up. And stay on track. SoCal approach, Sky Pop Hotel Tango Mike is level 9300.
Papa Hotel Tango Inc. SoCal approach, good morning. The Burbank altimeter 29905.
29905, Papa Hotel Tango Mike. You hear my engine? It's really fighting the winds here. Alright, well what we could do is already start to descend a bit because we already are halfway on our course. Also like to stay on track here, come on. And I like to be down. Ahead of time. So pull on that yoke, on that throttle I mean. Catch the needle, there's the highway that we're following. We see an airport in the distance. Mabino, do you use GPS at all? No, actually I so much drilled and trained without a GPS that I don't even notice that the thing is there other than checking for my frequencies. Alright, so there's our descent, nice rate. Needle is creeping in, that's good, and then we can already see a lot of airports. I would say that that is Van Nuys. That's also nearer than I expected it to be, but I think in terms of planning we would be fine. But again, I don't need to misidentify the airport. So we've got two airports. There's one over there, there's one over there, and there's one over there, and one over there. Looking at the charts, there should be three. And one in the distance, that's Santa Monica then, I guess. That's over here. So the most right airport should be the one. Yeah, so I think that is the airport. Also good to know where the shelf is starting. That's just behind this joint of highways. Just after. So that's around there. So I mean that I need to be already below 3,000 feet before I hit that highway intersection. And with this rate it's gonna get tight. So perhaps I need to do a 360 before we descend. Although we're on flight following, so it doesn't really pose that much of a problem, but I also like to be on a good altitude to get into Van Nuys. As you can see already by looking at the lights, here is a terrain to the right that I'd like to avoid, because at this altitude around that terrain that might be quite dangerous. Right, you can see already the terrain here blocking the city lights. So it's a good thing that we stay to the north side here. Let's also already put on our landing lights. I'm gonna expect a straight in. These are runways no, not 16. Yeah, 16. 16 left, 16 right. Bambino, what I really like about your streams is your intelligent approach to your overall mission and along the way. Yeah, thank you, Bambino. Well, I don't know if it's intelligent, but it's serious. It's dedicated, and I really like to learn rather than just do casual flights. I like to challenge myself. Some turbulence there. All right. I'd like to hear the ATIS. Why no ATIS? 127.55. 127.55. That's weird that we cannot reach the ATIS of Van Nuys. I think I don't need to worry that much to get under the shelf because, again, I'm on fly following, so I'm already talking with approach, so they know what air traffic is up ahead. The thing that worried me was that once I'm in the Charlie, I need to switch over to tower to make the airfield and land.
Papa Hotel Tango Mike traffic 1 o'clock, 2.5 miles northwestbound VFR aircraft indicating now 3,500, correction 4,500. Type unknown altitude and verify.
We've got the air traffic inside for Papa Hotel Mike, thanks. Nice to have received a traffic alert. So what I'm going to do is not stress too much about my altitude and be below 3,000 feet here. Because I think I'm already below 3,000 feet once we're in front of Van Nuys.
How do you hear me?
Again, landing lights are on, strobe lights are on. What I'm going to do is also put my mixture to full rich.
Cherokee 6711, yeah, John Wayne Tower, I hear you loud and clear. How do you hear me?
Look at these lights, guys. Wow. And this is that joint of highways. All of that traffic, guys. Police car. Wow. And 3,000 feet. Well, it's actually perfectly timed. Okay.
Papa Hotel Tango, Mike, do you have the weather for Van Nuys?
Yeah, we got the weather for Van Nuys, Papa Hotel Mike.
Papa Hotel Tango, Mike, thanks. And the airport inside as well?
And inside as well, Papa Hotel Mike.
Papa Hotel Tango, Indy Mike, Roger. Radar services are terminated now. You can keep your beacon code. Contact Van Nuys Tower 119.3.
Over to 119.3 for tower, and we'll keep the transponder on. Papa Hotel Mike. 119.3. Okay. 119.3. That is something that I could have rehearsed. Because, well, you need to focus, right?
With Kilo for the Cat 9 rating.
We are around a few miles northwest.
Skyhawk 55 Whiskey Tango, Burbank clearance. Good morning.
Archer flaps.
Departure proceeds southeastbound towards the Rose Bowl. Maintain VFR at or below 2,500 until advised. Departure frequency 134.2, squawk 2555.
All right.
Depart southeast at or below 2,500, frequency 134.2, 2555 in the transponder. 55 Whiskey Tango.
Number 55 Whiskey Tango, read back is correct.
Van Nuys Tower, Sky Papa Hotel Tango Mike is 5 miles northwest of the airport, currently at 2,500 with weather inbound, full stop.
Number 55 Whiskey Tango, if you're still with me, you caught me on that one. You didn't change your frequency back to clearance delivery. You're actually broadcasting on Burbank Tower frequency.
Copy that.
Just stay clear of the final
Papa
approach.
Hotel Tango India Mike Van Nuys Tower. Good morning. Make straight in. Runway 16 right, cleared to land.
Straight in 16 right, clear to land 16 right. Papa Hotel Mike. Cool. So now I like to go on the light slope. Or on the final leg, I should say. Speed is good. We're fully prepped. So one thing that I should have done was already tuned in the tower frequency before I got near the Delta. Because that was quite obvious. There wouldn't be any new air approach controller before I reached Van Nuys. Now guys, look at these lights. Wow, 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 wow. So that Charlie airspace is now on top of us. A little bit less power here. And let's just focus on a very nice gentle landing. But I don't know why we cannot receive the ATIS of Van Nuys. That's a bit weird. Again, engine is good, lights are on, strobe lights, landing lights, mixture is full in, trim, I will keep it that way. We're ready to go. Yeah, we could have also rehearsed our parking spot, but let's just look at that while we are landing. Let's see where the tower is. I think the tower is on the right side. So that means the west ramp is going to be our parking spot, or near the tower. Or it's nice to rehearse that as well. All right, I think we're already on final. So I'd like to reduce my speed to get into the wide band and get another notch of flaps in. A bit more. Let's keep the nose up to help reduce the airspeed. A little bit more nose up trim. Yeah, there we are. Second notch of flaps. Push down on the yoke. There goes the airspeed. A little bit more power. There we go. Famous 1.6 ride. Did you guys see the documentary of many years ago? 1.6 ride. If not, have a look at it. It's about Van Nuys, but also about the general aviation. Really nice documentary. And apparently Van Nuys is a really famous airport. It's a very nice airport, an important airport. Hey, Igav and Buddy, good to see you guys. Just in time for landing. Now look at these lights. Wow, 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 wow.
Burbank ground, Skyhawk 55 Whiskey Tango at the Mercury ramp, ready to taxi.
A little bit nose up trim. Let's see, we see some
Number 55 Whiskey
curve on the
Burbank
runway.
ground.
I don't
Good
think so. This
morning.
runway is quite flat
8, taxi via Delta.
by the look of it.
Runway 8 via Delta, 55 Whiskey Tango.
We may only touch down after the threshold line there, after the green horizontal line.
John Wayne Clearance, good morning, November 350
65,
Bravo,
good
it's
speed.
Martin. And with the weather, request IFR flight to Van Nuys, please.
16 right. Nose up, nose up, nose up, nose up, nose up. Gorgeous. Flaps up. So we stick onto the
Number
ground.
350 Papa Bravo, John Wayne Clearance. Good morning. You might want to turn your microphone volume down just a little bit, coming through a little over-modulated just because your volume's a little too high. I'll be with you shortly, stand by.
Some brake.
Yeah, no problems.
And we can expedite our exit here.
Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, where do you park?
I would like to park near the tower, if that's okay. Papa Tati Mike.
Sounds good to me. Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, to taxi straight into the ramp on Alpha and monitor ground point 7.
Straight into the ramp and we'll monitor ground, Papa Tati. Thanks for your help. And that's also something that I could have already prepared. Ground. Not a big thing, but yeah.
At Haviland 350 Papa Bravo, cleared to the Van Nuys Airport.
Landing lights
Fly
off,
heading
strobe lights off,
175.
taxi lights
Expect
off.
radar vectors, Seal Beach.
Lean
VOR
for ground.
then as filed. Maintain
Make sure
5,000,
no one's
expect
there.
6,000 5 minutes after departure.
Here's the tower building.
Departure frequency 128.1, squawk 1413.
Let's go on this side.
Roger, November 350 Papa Bravo is cleared to Van Nuys by heading 175, radar vector Seal Beach, VOR direct. Climb as filed, except maintain 5,000, expect 6,000 5 minutes after departure.
We are, guys.
1281 and 1413 the squawk.
At 1,000. First off, let's turn that one off.
Number 350 Papa Bravo, read back is correct.
VFR as well.
Is the mic any better now?
Yeah, avionics off. Cut off. Until it stops. Then magnetos back to both. Lights off. Beacon can remain on. And then the battery's off. Nice flight! Thank you, No Pizza No Glory. Yeah. It was beautiful. It was scenic. But it also went pretty well. And I was quite aware. The only thing I forgot was the clock at the beginning of the flight. Could have also checked the clock once more once I reached the joint of the highways, but I was already using that visual reference point. That was good. Good ATC. It was good. It was really, really good. Okay, let's disconnect and have a look at the landing. Disconnect.
Disconnected.
And I'd like to go to the quarter. Yeah, so here I could have already used the clock as a second. Oh yeah, you can see 23 minutes. I thought it would be 18 or something like that. Anyway, there's Van Nuys. Van Nuys. Yeah, this is okay. From the Van Nuys Tower. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Thank you, Bambino. Thank you, Avanek. Thanks. Avanek, we should also schedule a new flight, a joint flight that we can also stream. Perhaps this weekend. Other than just traffic pattern flying, but something cool. We can go to a Delta, or let's see what we can do. Let me see. So there I go. And let's get a little bit closer just to see the landing here. Wow. Flaps down, very nice. We're not crabbed. So yeah, that made it quite easy. My landing was really, really well. I really get the idea now of how much high up the Cessna is relative to the ground, which makes it much more easy to make a subtle touchdown. Hard to see in the dark, but yeah, it was okay. The main wheels first, then the nose wheel. That's good. Once more. Yeah, nose up. Main wheels. Nice. Very pretty. Shift 5, Control P. So there I came from the mountains. Yeah, still over the terrain though. Because that's that bump that I would like to avoid, but I just flew right over it. Or no, perhaps that's a perspective issue. Let me see. Shift 4. A little bit further on. Where are we? Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. See. Yeah. So as you can see, here's the terrain, and I flew right across it. Yeah. So that's yeah, that makes sense. So that's perfect. I think made a lot of sense. I was also on the right altitude in time, but I think that that shouldn't be a concern too much because I was on flight following. The idea was that what I was thinking of was. I thought that but if I just look at the chart, that's nonsense, really. I thought that I would have switched over to tower while I was in the Charlie, and that might pose a problem. But that's ridiculous because obviously I wouldn't be at 3,000 feet in 2 nautical miles before I reach Van Nuys. Anyway, I think it was okay that I was already at that altitude because I needed to arrive anyway. So that was good. Also have a quick look at my departure because departures are important as well. Here we were. Taxiing. That was the departure. There we are. Let's see. Yeah, so that was my departure. So yeah, because we could already use this piece or this chunk of the runway, I was already in the air before the threshold started. And the one thing that I thought about while I was departing was that I know there is a rule that you should make your turn, but that is a departure instruction, I believe. For example, if you need to fly a particular heading and stay below a particular altitude, for example, when you're at John Wayne and you depart John Wayne, you get that instruction. You can already turn at around, or you should already turn around 500 feet AGL, make that instruction turn. But also, you should be already at the far end of the runway. And until those two conditions meet, then you can make that turn. And that was something that I thought about before making my crosswind turn here. Because, as you can see, I still had a long way to go before I reached the far end of the runway. So I thought, am I already allowed to make that turn? But I know Mark is saying on the stream as well that he was... He already talks about 400 feet or so, and just get that instruction going. But I think I did well here. Yeah, I think the altitude is the most important bit. I also saw a lot of real-world videos where the pilots already make their turn. even lower than that halfway through the runway. But I don't know what the official rule is here. I think you should turn based on your altitude, I think. Let me see. I'd like to see my takeoff. Okay, we lined up. Oh, no, we're already lining up, so there we go. Yeah, I needed to apply some right rudder here. There we go. That was a really gentle takeoff. Really, really basic. Bye-bye Bakersfield, I said. It's so pretty, guys, flying at night. But I'm pleased with my flight today. I really did well. And yeah, that's also something that you would expect after episode 70 episodes or so. But that pleases me. That's good. That means that I completed my my short range cross country flight, and I need to do a long haul cross country flight as well, day and night. So yeah, we can pick a new airport to fly in one of the next streams from Van Nuys. Might also be very, very fun. That's something that we can do. We can cross the Bravo because there are really nice flyways that we can fly through as a VFR pilot. One is still amazes me that it actually works. There's one flyway where you don't need to do anything, or well, not that much. You can just overfly the LA airport. It's a special flight rules area. There's also a mini route, there's a coastal route, but this one, the Los Angeles Special Flight Rules Area, which just allows you, without talking to any ATC, just to cross over the middle of the airport as a little Cessna Skyhawk airplane, which is pretty cool. So what we could do is a long-range flight from Van Nuys, for example, all the way to Ramona, or Oceanside. It's now called Maxwell, by the way. It was always Oceanside, but it's now turned into Maxwell. But that's not a Delta airport, by the way. So that should be, yeah, Palomar could be a good one. That's a nice long-haul flight, and also involves a lot of airspace that we can avoid or fly through based on while we're on flight following. That would be quite a dynamic flight, which we could do perhaps tomorrow. Oh, that's perhaps an idea that we could do with Evanak. I don't know if he's still on the stream. That we can do a shared cockpit flight from Van Nuys to Palomar. He's not that advanced yet, or has not progressed through the entire cat rating series. So I think he's still unfamiliar with flight following and all this stuff. So perhaps he could fly and I could do the ATC. That might be fun to do. Well, I will message him if he's not already listening right now. All right, guys. That completes the flight of today. Really nice flight, did quite well. It was scenic, even though at night we didn't see any nice photo reel. But yeah, we're gonna do a daytime flight, perhaps in the weekend. So we're gonna enjoy the LA area. We're gonna fly over Los Angeles. We're gonna see the coast. So I think that our next flight is gonna be quite scenic as well, and also quite challenging and dynamic. Evanek is confirming. But sounds great, Tim. All right, so guys, our next flight is going to be a shared cockpit flight with Evanek, and we're going to do that challenging flight to Palomar. Anything else that I need to say? No. Well, again, also I'm also in name of Mireille of our previous stream, guys. Thank you so much for your support back that day when we did our stream there. It was really, really nice, and it really sparked an interest in aviation in her, so that's really great as well. But I really appreciate your encouragements. It's so wonderful to see how great a community we have here, and also as part of this channel. That's really, really much appreciated. So thanks once more for your support and your kind donations. Hoping to see you all in the next stream, Saturday or Sunday. Just keep a watch on my Twitch channel, and I will announce that flight as soon as I know or pick the date and the time with Evanek. Guys, happy flights, blue skies, and hoping to see you very, very soon. Bye. Palm Springs Tower, Skyline Hotel Tango, Mike is 2 miles north of airport 3000. Information X-ray, I'm for a full stop, landing 13 left, and that's available.
Hotel.
6250.
Papa Hotel Tango Game Mike. Palm Springs altimeter is 2985 radar contact. About 10 miles west of Palm Springs VOR. Presently landing runway 31. You're requesting straight in for 13.
If that's available, yes please.
Remember, correction, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, make straight in runway 13 left and clear to land. Wind is 0905.
Clear to land, runway 3 left, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike, thanks.
Palm Springs clearance, Pilatus 4658 is type PC12 slam call, request clearance to Vegas S-file.
Pilatus 4658, Palm Springs clearance. Good afternoon, unable to give you S-file, and I'll be forward standby. Pilatus 4658 is cleared to the Las Vegas airport. VFI Cathedral 1 departure procedure to Palm Springs, Victor 370 to 29 Palms, Victor 538, Cresso, join the Cresso 3 arrival. Maintain 7,000, expect flight level 2405 minutes after departure, departure frequency 126.7, squawk 6316.
Pilatus 4658 is cleared to Vegas via Cathedral 1, Palm Springs, Victor 37029, Palms, Victor 538, Cresso 3, initially climb 7,000, expected for 0 after 5, departure 167, squawk 6316, Pilatus 465.
Pilatus 4658, readback is correct. Tango India Mike, taxi to ramp via Echo, remain this frequency.
Taxiing to the ramp via Echo, remaining on this frequency, Papa Hotel Tango India Mike.
Ontario Tower, Cessna 237 Charlie Alpha, approximately 4 miles to the west, inbound to land.
Number 237, Charlie Alpha, roger, inner left, traffic, left downwind runway